Swapnil, see, you, me, Ruchira, who co-founded Work Better Training with you, right? It was an
Yeah,
executive education company.
yeah,
So great journey there. From there, jumping to podcasts,
yeah,
what made it compelling? Why did you guys say that, okay, now that we've done training
yeah,
for well over a decade, now we'll
yeah.
start with podcasts?
Yeah, very interesting question, Rosh, right? And I'm going to try to be as candid as possible here, right? So the first thing, of course, was a deep love that I think all of us have for
Hmm.
podcasts, right? And I think I can say that I'm a true lover of podcasts because over the last decade or so, um, most of what I consume as learning content, educational content, and sometimes even just entertainment content,
Hmm.
all of it, the primary source has become podcasts for me over the last year, right? And it's not surprising, Rosh, right? And it's not surprising because human beings love being a part of conversations. They like being a part of it, or sometimes they love just being, fly on the wall and kind of listening to an interesting conversation, right? So it's not surprising that podcasts have taken off all over the world and the numbers are growing year on year because I see that trend myself. I possibly end up consuming anything from 60 to 90 minutes a day of different interesting podcasts, right? So it always makes sense for you to start a venture in an area that you feel passionate about, that
Yep.
that you yourself are a consumer of. And I know
Yep.
that's the same for you, that's the same for Ruchira, and a lot of people on our founding team, right? So that's number one. Number two, I think, um, in my experience, I have seen the benefit brands and companies have got by associating themselves with podcasts in any way, right? Because there are like two primary forms in which brands or companies associate themselves with podcasts. One could be where they come in as a sponsor,
Right.
and the other is where they create their own podcast. I think both
Yep.
these
Yep.
means are quite effective means, right, of associating yourself with podcasts. And I've seen my own behavior that I tend to trust those brands a lot more, when they have their own podcast, when I know a lot about them, or when they're associated with the right kind of podcasts, right?
Hmm.
So I saw that happening, that businesses got real benefits from creating their own podcast or associating with the right ones, right? So that was reason number two. And reason number three, as you're aware, when just the background that we gave, right? We started an executive education company, scaled that up. That company got acquired by Upgrad, and in the 3 years while I was at Upgrad running that as a business head, we started a internal podcast there, right, with our customers, and I think we did close to 25-30 episodes of that. And it was the response that we got was fantastic, right? And we saw real business results, which I'll get into as we go on in this podcast. We saw real business results coming from us starting our own podcast, right? So it was a combination of the love that we have for podcasts and our trend as a consumer ourselves, that we're consuming so much of it. Number two, how brands and companies are benefiting when they start their own podcasts. I've seen that myself as a consumer of them, and how I feel about the brand. And number three, we started our own podcast and the
Hmm.
business benefits that gave us, right? So it was a no-brainer, quite honestly, to get started in and with Ranx podcast as a company.